against Florida State, but a week ago on this floor against a top 20 team in Virginia Tech, took the Hokies down to the wire, ended up losing by 7, but a really solid performance for 40 minutes from this Pitt team, and now a week later they get another shot at taking down a top 20 ACC opponent. We're underway in Pittsburgh, North Carolina, in the blue, taking on Pitt in gold. Tar Heels looking for their 6th straight win in conference play. Panthers looking to get their first ACC victory since January 27th of last year. So this is their final opportunity before the 1-year mark since their last ACC win. As we show you the Panthers starting 5, which consists of 2 freshmen, Marley Washenitz and Avery Strickland, joined by Malia Johnson, Leah-Tu King, and Amber Brown. Leading scorer for the year for the Panthers is Leah-Tu King, averaging 10.7 a game. The junior from Washington, D.C. The freshman Washenitz takes the long-range shot. Strickland tracks down the offensive rebound. And Brienne, might I just say early on here, tremendous uniform matchup tonight. I'm loving this.
I know. Look at these colors. Pretty out here is all I can say. They're very beautiful uniforms.
King with the spin move on the inside and gets the roll off the back rim and in.
Leah-Tu King finishing inside will be a good thing for Pitt to get her going early. Their leading scorer thus far this entire season.
For North Carolina, they're without Eva Hodgson tonight, dealing with a non-COVID illness. Destiny Adams makes her 2nd career start and takes her place in the first 5 for the Tar Heels.
And there's Alyssa Ustby on the offensive glass. I'm sure tonight Jason will be saying her name a lot as she is so dynamic for this UNC team.
There's a 3-ball from Deja Kelly, gives North Carolina a 5-2 advantage early. Kelly averaging over 16 points a game. She's the leading scorer for North Carolina. We talked about her and her versatility in the open tonight.
Yeah, she is so important to this UNC success. As you see right there, Avery Strickland stepping out and knocking down a 3. As Pitt has really put a lot of confidence and trust in these freshmen these last 7-8 games in this ACC play, going with 2 freshmen in the starting lineup and Avery Strickland and Marley Washenitz.
Ustby with an excellent cut through the paint, but well defended by Pittsburgh. Another note for the Panthers, we mentioned the starting 5 and talked about Amber Brown, 2nd leading scorer on the season for Pitt. Tonight, Brienne, she makes her 100th consecutive start, so she has not missed a game in her time at Pitt. That's the most to start a career here at Pitt since Brianna Kiesel did it in 2011 through 2014. She had 122 consecutive, and of course Kiesel now with the Panther staff, and quite an accomplishment for Amber Brown.
Yeah, that's quite impressive for Amber Brown. She has meant so much to this Pitt program over her entire 4-year career here at Pitt.
There is Coach Kiesel. Who knows? Maybe Brown will find her way to 122 and break that record.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Got a 7-5 Pittsburgh lead early. Airball 3-point attempt from Adams. Panthers the other way. Washenitz stops on a dime, takes the lefty jump shot. Rebound to Adams.
And that was a great decision by Marley Washenitz. She pushes the tempo. Nobody picked her up. She had a wide open jumper, just unfortunately didn't fall. However, you can't trade baskets like that with UNC, or you can't miss opportunities because they'll come right down, especially with the basketball in Deja Kelly's hands. She is so great in the open floor.
Deja Kelly with a quick 5 points for UNC. There's Brown, 12 on the timer, contested on the penetration. Now Kelly quickly the other way for UNC. Drives, lost the handle, got it right back. Now the Tar Heels will reset the offense. Kennedy Todd-Williams.
And as you'll see, Pitt in this 2-3 zone defense, they have been going for this 2-3 zone all ACC play. They believe in their defense. They are trying to get it done on the defensive end against these powerhouse teams in the ACC.
Lance White in his 5th season at the helm of the Pittsburgh program. This is the best recruiting class that he's had at Pitt. We talked about the freshman Marley Washnitz, Avery Strickland also brought in some transfers, one of which just entered the game in Shanice Lewis, who came over from Maryland and has it here. Wasting no time, kicks it out to Dayshanette Harris. Pass deflected and taken away by Ustby. She's in transition. Nice move down low, but did not finish. Kelly tries again. Got it. Deja Kelly, 8 points in the first 5 minutes for the Heels.
And 2 threes for her early on, Jason. That is not what she usually is going for, is that 3-point shot, but leave her open from behind the arc, and she is deadly.
Kelly just under 30% from beyond the arc on the season. Strickland likes to take the 3, and she hits.
And there's Strickland on the other side, trying to follow after Deja Kelly, knocking down that 3 in the corner.
Back and forth action so far through the first 5 minutes here at the Peak. Kelly thought about the 3.
In this zone defense that Pitt is in, we were talking with Courtney Banghart, and she was saying that North Carolina hasn't seen much zone, but tonight that is not really affecting them as they are shooting it very well from outside behind the arc
Tar
to start
Heels
this game.
happy to hoist the 3 ball all night so far, but the Panthers respond again, cut the lead to 1. North Carolina on the season, 33% from 3-point range. That's 7th in the ACC, Brianne. So as you noted, not necessarily known for their 3-point abilities, but they've brought them out so far here.
Yeah, that's right. They're taking what the defense is giving them right now. As you see, another opportunity for North Carolina from behind 3 with Deja Kelly. She just unfortunately traveled with it there as she did knock down the 3.
1-point lead for North Carolina. 4:03 left, first quarter in Pittsburgh. Head coach Courtney Banghart in her 4th season. Really enjoyed our conversation with her yesterday. Enjoying a 5-game ACC winning streak right now. This is the first time, Brianne, in her tenure at North Carolina that they've won 5 straight in conference play.
Yeah, and if they get that 6th tonight, that'll be a record for them since 2013. What hasn't she accomplished? If you look at her resume here, she is so impressive. She brings her winning culture to North Carolina. As when she was at Princeton, 7 times she's taken her team to the NCAA tournament, as they never previously have been to the tournament before she got to Princeton.
Unbelievable career for Courtney Banghart, and not a surprise by any means to see her success in just year 4 here in the ACC at North Carolina. Alyssa Ustby has been a huge part of that, and she talks so much about the player-coach relationships that she builds, and that's all you need to know. She's willing to wear a T-shirt with every player's face on it in this Thursday night game on the road in the ACC.
Yeah, she loves this group, just the way she talks about them, how hard they work, where they've come from. And you look across the board now at the transfer portal, she keeps players. She recruits players that she knows is going to stay in her program because of the culture they have built in North Carolina. And you see the success they've had over the years because of her. It all starts with head coach Courtney Banghart, as she would take none of the credit, as she gives it all to her players. But what a job she has done so far at North Carolina.
Said she's been a head coach for 17 years and has only ever had 1 player enter the transfer portal. People like being at North Carolina, she says, but you're right, Brianne. You got to give some of that credit to her.
Yeah, absolutely. She's done a tremendous job, and she just sounds like a coach I would like to play for.
Paulina Paris for North Carolina is the only new player on this year's roster, and especially in today's era with how common we've seen transfers and the ability for players to leave to other programs, North Carolina has been a place where people like competing on this women's basketball team and showcases the stability that they have. Dayshanette Harris responding for Pittsburgh and evening the score here at 15. Lots of 3 balls in this building tonight. Each team with 3 triples apiece.
Yeah, back and forth. Let's see if we can keep this tempo up the entire game. Some great shooting we're seeing here on display as you see Kennedy Todd-Williams on the other end knocks down a 15-foot jumper.
Yeah, really fun game so far. Both teams going back and forth, jab for jab in this first quarter. Harris spinning and finishing in the lane.
Dayshanette Harris, Jason, she is a scorer. So if she can get in that mindset tonight, she will be huge for the Pitt team to try to get them a win today here.
Pitt has made 4 of its last 5 from the field. North Carolina, 3 of its last 4. Kelly has been hot all night, that time off back rim. Ustby is just such a force on the glass. She hauls in her 3rd rebound of the game. Kelly traveled.
As you see here, Dayshanette Harris knocking it down for 3. It's always a good sign for the Pitt Panthers when they can get Dayshanette Harris going on the offensive end, as she is relentless, especially when she gets inside that paint, as you see her there knocking down a little jumper inside the paint.
Her freshman season back in 2019 led Pitt in points, assists, and steals, made the ACC all-freshman team. Now shifting into a bench role for this year, but clearly providing a spark for the Panthers. Hoists a 3-ball again, not that time. And Exenor tried to make the save. Leah King with the extra effort to track it down.
You're seeing some great hustle plays on the offensive end here down by Pitt as they save that offensive rebound. Then Leah King is on the floor diving after loose basketballs. That is what Pitt needs to pull up an upset against a team like North Carolina.
And travel called against Pitt, so the Panthers turn it over. 17 all late first quarter, and Courtney Banghart certainly did not overlook this Pitt team, Brienne, when we talked to her, and they're in a tight one here. Minute 30 to go in the first.
No, absolutely not. She did not. They know, their coaching staff over there on the bench knows how hungry this Pitt team is to get a win. And North Carolina on that 5-game winning streak, they know they have a tough road ahead as they are on the road, and this is a different environment, as Coach Courtney Banghart told us. It is a different environment to them. Maybe not as many fans as they have seen in their last 5 games, but they are here to compete to get this win.
Courtney Banghart said she's most proud of the resilience the team showed after that losing streak, because when you lose, it's hard, and especially when you lose a lot of close games, which this team did. But they responded by winning 5 straight, including 3 against teams in the top 15. And keep in mind, this is in the toughest league in the country. Panthers a chance to take the lead. Hayford drives and kicks. Harris, nice dish down low to King. King swatted away by Zelaya, and ultimately a foul called. The Panthers fighting for multiple opportunities after the initial miss. And foul goes against North Carolina. I believe it was Zelaya for the Heels, sends Leah King to the line.
Yeah, Alexandra Zelaya is arguing that call in there. She has a big stature inside. Leah King, as you'll see right here, Dayshanette Harris, great feed inside. Leah King gets Alyssa Ustby up in the air. However, she does get herself to the free throw line.
Brienne, it seems like Harris is playing exactly how Lance White and company would want her to play right now.
Yeah, that's right. They have to be a dominant force inside, as they know UNC packs the paint on the defensive end. However, if they can get them up in the air, they can have some good opportunities to score the basketball inside.
Harris with those 5 points, 1 assist, has made some impact on the offensive side for sure. Propels Pitt to a 2-point lead, 26.5 seconds to go, first quarter. Deja Kelly is the leader for North Carolina with 8 points, including 2 3-pointers. She takes the pull-up from the elbow, knocks it down. 10 points in the first quarter for Kelly.
Yeah, that's tough for Pitt. Deja Kelly can be unstoppable, and if she is going this early, watch out for her throughout the whole night.
Hayford uses her speed to give Pitt the lead at the end of the first quarter. Number 15, North Carolina, down by 2. Panthers led by 8 from Leah King.
Huge spark off the bench for that Pitt Panther team as she came in and was dominant on the offensive side of the basketball. Hopefully she can keep that up throughout the entire night tonight.
And that gives Lance White a reason to smile after the first 10 minutes of this ball game. Panthers led by 8 from Leah King, 6 from Avery Strickland. Strickland was battling for that rebound, but ends up with the Tar Heels. Deja Kelly leads all scorers tonight with 10.
Yeah, as you see North Carolina trying to overload that strong side, but Pitt doing a really nice job, scouted them pretty well, seeing what they're doing on the offensive side.
Offensive rebound, second chance basket, Leah King.
And that's what Leah King is good at. Offensive rebounding. She gets the basketball. She pursues the ball. She works extremely hard inside the paint. And then she rewards herself with going up and earning herself 2 points.
King averages 10.7 points a game on the season. She has 10 already through the first 11 minutes. Strickland leading the break for Pitt. Hayford finds King. Drives off the glass. Couldn't get the roll. Rebounds Alaya. Overhead pass. Ustby on the run. Missed the easy one. You don't see that every day.
No, North Carolina struggling these last 3 possessions, really getting good looks. They had a high-low the possession before. Alyssa Ustby running the floor like she does extremely well, and she just misses a wide-open bunny that she would love to have back.
Should note that the Panthers did cause some problems for Elizabeth Kitley of Virginia Tech last Thursday, and so far tonight, Ustby 4 points on 1 of 5 from the field. Strickland drives into contact. North Carolina quickly in transition. Harris, Euro step, a pretty move, but could not finish. Rebound goes to Amber Brown, her second of the ball game.
Smart decision by the veteran and Amber Brown, seeing that North Carolina was back in transition defense. Gives it to her point guard and Amy Hayford to set their offense and get a good possession.
Leah King takes a look at the shot clock, dishes out to Strickland. Johnson, now with just 1 to shoot, tried to get it off. Didn't hit rim, shot clock violation. North Carolina with a really solid, patient possession.
Yeah, and the Pitt Panthers just worked into North Carolina's hands right there. Great defense by the Tar Heels. As you see Dayshanette Harris subbing back into the game. She wasn't on the bench for very long.
So she comes in and picks up a quick foul on the opposite end of the court. No foul trouble yet for either team. Nobody with more than 1. With just under 7.5 to go, second quarter. Kelly left open again for 3. Not that time. Ustby chased down the rebound, but touched it last. Pitt takes over.
You'll see Pitt Panthers head coach Lance White getting pretty animated on the sideline over there, trying to keep the momentum going for his Pitt Panthers.
And Brianne, I think he smiled tonight more than he has all season.
He's hoping to smile through all 4 quarters. I can tell you that.
Harris with a shifty athletic move to the cup. Dayshanette Harris with 7 points, giving the Panthers some really quality minutes off the bench.
Yeah, Dayshanette Harris in her senior year. She is looking forward to her first ACC win and to help her teammates get an ACC win, as they are still 0 for in the ACC league play. As you see Harris coming back into the game. UNC does a very nice job with their hard high hedge. Dayshanette Harris notices that mismatch and she attacks that high hip of that post player right there and gets herself an easy 2.
Harris, a player who at times throughout her career has looked like potentially the next great Pittsburgh point guard, and hasn't had the year she expected or hoped, but settling into this bench role, especially tonight and against a top 15 opponent at home, really putting on a solid display here as the Panthers look to continue a possible upset bid.
Kennedy Todd-Williams knocks both of her free throws down. She's an excellent free throw shooter. She's not hitting from the floor today. I'm sure she is looking to get those free throws to get her going here in the second quarter.
And an offensive foul was called on the screener. Cynthia Azeza, who recently entered for Pittsburgh, the junior from Athens, Greece, really helps the Panthers when she's on the floor, but is susceptible at times to foul trouble, and so she's going to take a seat. Azeza picks up her second foul.
Yeah, Azeza does give them some nice size inside, especially against these UNC post players. However, her foul trouble does limit her minutes.
There's a three for North Carolina from the freshman Paulina Paris. Tar Heels have been struggling a little bit in their recent three-point attempts, but Paris ends the drought, makes it a one-point game. Strickland tried to respond, but the long rebound falls to Kelly on the weak side. Kelly tried to feed Ustby instead of taking the floater. Panthers intercept with Brown. An errant pass tracked down by Washenitz, but North Carolina takes over quickly on the break. Paris finishes.
You can't give too many opportunities to North Carolina in the fast break transition play. They're gonna capitalize on that.
In a quick 7-0 run in just 55 seconds for North Carolina gives them a 1-point lead. Harris, pull-up jumper. She is on tonight.
Yeah, Dayshanette Harris is feeling it right now as she is doing everything she can to keep this Panther team in this ball game right now.
King defending Ustby in the post. Outside, Kelly to the corner. Todd-Williams takes the pull-up. Off the mark. Harris doing a little rebounding as well. Gets her first board of the night. She's now 4 of 5 from the field. Outstanding pass to King on the low block, and she's fouled.
Nice basketball there by the Pitt Panthers. Leah Two Kings gets herself to the free throw line. Just can't finish that and one there.
Dayshanette Harris looking comfortable tonight in Pittsburgh. Due to Dayshanette Harris with 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting, only 1 assist, but she's made such a tremendous impact on the offensive side.
Yeah, she was a huge spark off the bench, Jason. As you see her scoring in a variety of ways, she was getting herself into the paint. She was reading the defense, taking what they were giving her, knocking down threes. If she can continue, this might be a good night for the Pitt Panthers.
Only averages 7.9 points a game on the season. Tonight, she's got 9. In ACC play, averaging 5.9 points per game. And Harris earning a well-deserved rest here coming out of the timeout. So an excellent display to start the night for Dayshanette Harris, and the Panthers in a great position here. 4:57 to go, second quarter, to potentially make a run and knocking off number 15.
Pitt's still staying in that 2-3 zone defense, giving UNC a little bit of a difficulty on the offensive end.
Leah Two King strips it away from Tiani Key. And Shanice Williams in to run the point right now for Pitt. Shanice Lewis, transfer from Maryland. Malia Johnson, hoisted from beyond the arc. And a foul called.
And as a head coach, those are the fouls that you're okay with. Those are hustle plays. 2 of your players are crashing the offensive glass and just unfortunately get called for an over the back, but that is what you want from your team, is to crash the boards extremely hard to get your chance, your team's second chance opportunities. We talked about Shanice Lewis, the veteran leadership that she brings to this team when she is on the floor. You hear her communicating out there on the defensive end, really getting her players, her teammates in position to stop this UNC offense.
Panthers force a really tough shot from Paris as the shot clock expires. Just a really sound defensive play there for Pitt.
Yeah, that was a great defensive stance by the Pitt Panthers as they force North Carolina to take a difficult shot, and then they capitalize on the offensive end. If Pitt Panthers can continue to get it done on the defensive end, they can lead into this offense to stay in this basketball game.
Lead now at 4 for Pitt. Ustby from downtown silences the crowd.
Leave it to Alyssa Ustby. There is nothing that player cannot do. She is so dynamic. She can score at all levels. She is a leader, a veteran leader for this UNC team. She means so much. As you see her there on the defensive end, on the floor, she does it all for this team.
She has been everywhere. Gets the steal there. Tar Heels couldn't convert on the other end. Long pass forward to Brown. Tough angle. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound by Paris.
And that's one Shanice Lewis wants back. She sees her forward and Amber Brown running the floor, running rim to rim. Just overthrows her a bit. As Pitt Panthers, again, are out in transition. North Carolina not doing a really great job of getting back on the transition defense right now.
So Hayford couldn't execute on the step through, and Amber Brown tried to secure that rebound, but it's going to go to North Carolina.
Pitt Panthers fighting and clawing right now. If they continue this for the entire game, North Carolina is going to have to do everything they can to get this victory and keep their win streak in the ACC alive.
And it was called a jump ball. Wasn't sure if it was going to be a travel on Brown, but it is a jump, so possession arrow will flip to Pittsburgh after North Carolina wins that one. Harris from the left wing, too strong.
That was just a miscommunication by the Pitt Panthers there to leave Paulina Paris open for three, as she is a three-point shooter on for the Tar Heels. Just a lack of communication on the Pitt Panthers side.
Pitt has used 10 players in the game, getting some good minutes from the bench. 13 bench points on the night for Pitt. Here is Kelly, step through. Harris tried to take a charge, but no call at all. Held ball will give it to Pitt, but Lance White isn't sure how there wasn't an offensive foul call. And rarely on a play like that you see no call. I thought there would either be a block or a charge there, but neither of the two.
Yeah, obviously the officials saw something different, letting them play a little bit here tonight. Lance White did not like the call, or I should say no call. But the Panthers do get it back on the offensive side. See if they can hold this lead.
Down low, Azaza, strong in for two.
And that was a great play by Cynthia Azaza. As you see on the other end, the non-call that we were just talking about. But Azaza gets it done on the offensive side as Amy Hayford, finds Cynthia Azaza burying their post player down inside for opportunity for an and one as she hits the free throw.
Azaza averages just 8 minutes per game. This is only the 7th game all year she's played in, but the Panthers brought her out a week ago, using her size to take on Elizabeth Kitley, and tonight making an impact off the bench, as many other Panthers have. 16 bench points from Pitt, led by 9 from the senior guard, Dayshanette Harris.
Yeah, with a variety of players playing for the Pitt Panthers, that is nice to see. I'm sure Lance White is happy with that, seeing his bench production rise each and every game.
Lance White's Panthers leading by 4. They've played really solid defense. North Carolina hasn't scored in 2.5 minutes. A great way to go into the half if you're Pitt.
Yeah, as you see, North Carolina also switched to a zone defense against this Pitt Panther team.
King with multiple heels on her, dishes out. Malia Johnson. Too strong on the 3. Rebound brought in by Destiny Adams. Dishes out to Kelly. Tar Heels, one of their last 7 from the field here. 5-second difference between shot and game clock.
You see associate head coach Terry Mitchell yelling, calls, as she is the defensive coordinator of this Pitt Panther team. She is doing everything she can in her power to get the Pitt Panthers in the right spots on the defensive side of the basketball.
And they certainly were. Now they get a chance on the other end. Hayford with her quickness, but off the mark on the layup. However, Pitt Panthers certainly pleased with their first half performance. It's 33-29. The 7-12 Panthers leading the 14.
The Panthers, they are making it extremely difficult for the UNC Tar Heels to get the basketball inside. Look for the Panthers to continue to play inside, outside, to get going on the offensive end.
This is a Panthers group that's used 10 players tonight. 5 off the bench, combining for 16 bench points. Only 5 off the bench provided from the Tar Heels. There's a team, North Carolina, that throughout the year has not quite used as much of its bench as the Panthers have, and Pitt is using that to its advantage to get a 4-point lead here in the third quarter tonight.
Yeah, and this is a veteran group on this UNC team. 4 of their starters are juniors. They've been playing together since they were freshmen. 86% of their scoring and rebounding from last season they brought back this year. So don't count North Carolina out just yet.
Alyssa Ustby had a fairly quiet first half. Had 7 points, but only shot 2 of 7 from the field. She draws the foul in the paint. And North Carolina will keep possession. Todd-Williams contact and ruled a block against Pittsburgh. Lance White once again thought it was a charge on Kennedy Todd-Williams, but the call goes in favor of North Carolina, and Malia Johnson picks up her second foul of the game.
That seemed like a late whistle. It was almost going to be a no call, but then the official gave it to the UNC Tar Heels. So Malia Johnson would have to argue that call.
And another foul called on Pitt, starting to get a little bit lopsided in the fouls category on the night. Pittsburgh with 10 fouls tonight, North Carolina with just 4. Already 3 in the quarter, just 49 seconds in against the Panthers.
And this is something that North Carolina does really well, is get to the free throw line.
Deja Kelly especially good at getting to the line, drawing fouls. 122 free throw attempts entering tonight for Deja Kelly, good for 2nd in the conference. She's efficient as well. Knocks down both of them there to make it a 2-point game.
And North Carolina coming back up in this matchup, 3-2 zone that they like to go to, that they like to play. They make it difficult. They are super long, as you see them getting their hands in the passing lane there as Anya Poole gets the deflection for North Carolina.
It was Washenitz who turned it over. That time, the Panthers effectively draw the charge. So Washenitz, who made the bad pass on the other end, hustles back on D, draws the offensive foul.
Yeah, and Washenitz, credit to her. She gets to the spot. She beats Todd-Williams to the spot, as Todd Kennedy just lowers her shoulder and Marley sells it to the officials.
Love to see the effort from a freshman. Made a mistake on the offensive side, but hustles back and makes a big play on the defensive end. How did that ball go in for Amber Brown?
That's the kind of day it is for the Pitt Panthers, I think, Jason. That's what we call a shooter's touch there. Amber Brown, here you'll see it here. Amber Brown attacks the paint. Nice roll.
4 bounces off the rim, I think. Unbelievable strong finish from Amber Brown. The senior gets that Panther lead back up to 4. And for Amber Brown, the 2nd leading scorer on the season for Pitt, that was just her first field goal of the night. Travel on Alyssa Ustby.
And she did. Alyssa Ustby usually has great footwork, but she caught the basketball, moved both feet before she went to make her post move. Good call by the officials there.
2nd turnover on the night for Ustby. Tar Heels sticking in the zone. Strickland left open for three, drills it.
And Jason, that's what I was talking about, this Pitt Panther team, getting the basketball inside of that zone, that North Carolina zone. They collapse on the defensive end, kick it out to their shooter, and Avery Strickland, and she knocks it down for three.
And she grabs the rebound on the other end, draws a foul as well.
Avery Strickland getting some love from her teammates. As you see, three defenders from UNC Tar Heels are inside the paint. Amber Brown surveys her team, surveys the offensive end, sees Avery Strickland wide open for three, and she knocks it down.
Strickland with 9. Dayshanette Harris with 9 as well. Tied for the second most on the Panther team tonight behind Leah Tu King with 11. Strickland has made 3 from beyond the arc.
And Tar Heels trying to change it up a little bit, getting out in that three-quarter court pressure a little bit.
Johnson off the mark, offensive rebound, King. Panthers will get another possession. 7th offensive rebound of the night for Pitt. They are rattling this 15th-ranked North Carolina team tonight. Inside, King, strong, draws the foul, will head to the free throw line with just 5 on the shot clock.
Amber Brown, again, the catalyst of this offense right now. She catches the basketball at the free throw line, surveys the floor, squares up to the rim, and finds Leah Tu King burying the post player down inside, and she finishes for, well, she doesn't finish, she gets to the free throw line.
Leah Tu King, a 65% free throw shooter on the season, misses the first.
As you see that play here, Amber Brown catches the basketball at the high post, sees Leah Tu King with a mismatch, and Paulina Paris bury her inside, gets her the basketball, and gets herself to the free throw line.
So much of this game, Pitt has just looked composed with the basketball. Whether it's zone or man, Pittsburgh staying patient offensively and waiting for a good opportunity to strike.
Yeah, that's right. They are being very patient on the offensive end, using the shot clock to their advantage, working the basketball, looking for the best opportunity they have to score the basketball.
So Dayshanette Harris, who has 9 points in 11 minutes tonight, re-enters for Malia Johnson. Johnson takes a seat with 3 fouls. Otherwise, the Panthers doing okay with foul trouble. Nobody else with more than 2. Washenitz defending Deja Kelly. 5 on the timer. Pass inside to Poole. Beautiful fake. The step through and off the window.
And that was a heck of a move down there, Jason, by Anya Poole. Great footwork. Gets her feet set up and under between 2 players and scores it for 2.
Kickball called. Will stay on this end. Anya Poole with her first bucket of the night. And what a way to do it.
Yeah, nice move. As you see, Leah Tu King was on her back. She squares up to the rim, up and under. Great finish inside by Anya Poole. She is only averaging a little under 6 points per game for this Tar Heel team.
Yeah, part of that tremendous junior class for North Carolina. Ustby, a junior. Kennedy Todd-Williams and Deja Kelly, also juniors for North Carolina. That first class that Courtney Banghart brought in her first season at North Carolina back in 2020.
Yeah, Amber Brown right now giving North Carolina all kind of fits on the offensive end. She gets herself to the free throw line by attacking the glass and just getting an unfortunate foul against Alyssa Ustby.
And Brianne, as we sit here, 6 minutes to go, third quarter. We talked so much tonight about that 5-game winning streak for North Carolina. They took down number 4 Notre Dame, number 11 NC State, number 13 Duke. The beauty of this conference in college basketball is that you would never expect Pitt at 0-8 to be the one giving them trouble, but here we are.
Right, exactly. And we talked about this early in the broadcast, Jason. You cannot take a night off in this deep ACC conference. It is extremely hard to play against any team you go up against in the ACC, and Pitt is showing that tonight here against the Tar Heels.
7-point lead for the Panthers. 3-ball Todd-Williams, 2 strong offensive rebound Poole. Second opportunity for Kelly, and nicely done.
Great attack by Deja Kelly. Little floater inside the paint there. She's doing all she can for this Tar Heel team.
King stops, pops off front rim. Rebound Poole. And Paris, the freshman, in control. Ustby working on King. Battle down low. King rejects Ustby. Strickland steps back. 3-ball in the air. In and out. And Brianne, this place would have gone nuts if that ball dropped for Strickland.
Yeah, that would have been huge for Avery Strickland and the Pitt Panthers there right now as they are on a great run in this third quarter.
Pitt has a 5-point lead over number 15, North Carolina. And we take a look at their scoring breakdown throughout the year. Traditionally, throughout this season, Brianne, they've struggled mightily in the third quarter. Different story tonight where they lead this third quarter by 1 point over North Carolina, and they maintain a 5-point lead.
Yeah, that's right. This Pitt Panther team, the third quarter has been their Achilles heel all season long. If they can finish out this third quarter on the streak that they have been going thus far, it's going to be an interesting fourth quarter.
Tar Heels respond, cut the lead to 3. And as well as the Panthers have played throughout the night and in this third, they have missed their last 4 from the field. Barely made it across the timeline there, trying to prevent that 10-second backcourt violation. Strickland hoists the 3-ball. Rebound hauled in by Kennedy Todd-Williams. The Tar Heels look to have a different energy out of that last timeout.
Yeah, and you can see all over North Carolina's bench the calm confidence that they have in their team. And they are not counting themselves out just yet. However, Marley Washnitz might have something to say about that.
But Dayshanette Harris there to cover for her teammate. They share a high 5 in Pittsburgh with a 5-point lead. Under 4 to go in the third. Harris went to the hardwood, but they call her for the foul.
Great defensive stance, great defensive play by Marley Washnitz to get out in the passing lane. Pushes it as Deja Kelly gets back defensively, but Dayshanette Harris, that veteran move there, not just watching her teammates, she follows up and gets the offensive rebound and puts it back for 2.
Yeah, she's looking after the freshman, saying, I got you.
I got your back.
And what stands out about that to me, Brianne, is that Marley Washnitz took Dayshanette Harris's starting role. She's now the starting point guard for Pitt. Dayshanette Harris held that position for a lot of her career here at Pitt, but clearly no animosity between the two. Great chemistry, and they shared a smile on that one.
That's right. Great chemistry. Jason is absolutely right. Dayshanette Harris is a senior. She knows how this works. She knows Marley Washnitz is a freshman. She has her back. She's all about the team. Having a freshman come in, she is trying to mold her in the best of ways.
3-point lead for Pitt. Washnitz takes a seat on the bench. North Carolina still in zone here. 3.5 to go, third quarter. Pitt struggling recently from the field, one of its last 7. Azaza backing down Ustby, kicks outside Harris. 6 to shoot, drives baseline. Great defense by North Carolina, but a little too much contact. And looks like Anya Poole will be called for the foul. And that's going to be the third. No, it's Todd-Williams that they got for the foul. She has 3, and Destiny Adams has 3 for North Carolina.
Unfortunately, Dayshanette Harris got bailed out there as she drove to the baseline. But 2 players from the Tar Heels cut her off.
Amber Brown, 77% from the charity stripe on the season, goes 2 for 2. Pitt on the night, 8 for 12 from the line.
And credit to Pitt Panthers' defensive game plan here tonight, as North Carolina, we said it early, hasn't seen much zone and struggling a little bit against this Pitt Panthers zone defense.
Kelly stops, takes the pull-up offensive rebound. Ustby, well defended by Pitt. And a jump ball that's going to reverse possession to Pittsburgh.
And Ustby all over the offensive glass down there. Just tries to force it up rather than taking her time, maybe just taking a dribble and trying to get the defense up in the air. Instead, she takes an off-balance shot, and it goes to Pitt Panthers' way.
Alyssa Ustby, 7 points, 2 for 9 from the field on the night. This Panther defense causing problems for the junior forward from Rochester, Minnesota. Harris drives, contact taken, no call. Kennedy Todd-Williams grabs the rebound and overshot Ustby. Turnover, North Carolina.
And Kennedy Todd-Williams just overthrows Alyssa Ustby right there. But she knows her post player is running the floor, so it is extremely hard for her to not pass her the basketball. She wishes she could have that one back, make it a little bit better of a pass.
So even though the Panthers haven't shot well from the field this quarter, still have the lead by 5. Malia Johnson misfired on the 3. A scrum in the paint for the loose ball. Timeout called by Lance White. So a heads-up play by Pittsburgh with 2:10 in the third. The Panthers have a 5-point lead, looking for their first ACC win of the season. To Pitt's defense that has been solid all night.
Yeah, the Panthers have been making it extremely difficult on this North Carolina Tar Heel team on the offensive end. They are working extremely hard to make North Carolina run out the shot clock. As you see there, Paulina Paris just throwing up a shot to beat the buzzer. Credit to Pitt Panthers and their game plan on the defensive side tonight.
And Courtney Banghart trying everything she can to get her Tar Heels to come back in this game. They averaged 73 points on the season, only 39 tonight against this Panther defense.
Yeah, they are well shy of their season average here tonight.
And shooting 34% from the field for the contest, UNC. The Panthers have been persistent. They've got a 5-point lead, under 2 minutes to go in the third. On this possession, North Carolina looking for its first made field goal in over 3 minutes of play. Ustby drives and kicks to Paris. Todd-Williams down low to Ustby. Deja Kelly left open, 3-ball, wedged in the rim, and it will stay on this end. North Carolina has possession arrow.
It was unfortunate for Pitt as that does go to the arrow and stays with North Carolina Tar Heels as they get an extra possession here.
Ustby, jumper, back rim, rebound, Strickland. And, well, possession arrow again. So Pitt takes that one. Well done by Strickland to grab the initial rebound. Tar Heels didn't make it too easy. And after a hot first half offensively from both teams, struggling here late in the third. Pitt, one of its last 10 from the field. Harris spins in the lane, finds Exenor. Pass tipped by Todd-Williams, but Hayford keeps it. 9 to shoot. King on the floor. Outside, Strickland hoists the 3. And out of bounds, last off the Panthers.
And that was just a freshman mistake there. Avery Strickland she realized the shot clock, but she didn't realize she had enough time to get set in her shot, as she is a great three-point shooter. However, she tried to get it off way too quick.
North Carolina with only 20 points since a 19-point first quarter display. This team had 19 in the first quarter. Pitt had 21. Tremendous offensive display from both sides in the first 10 minutes tonight. Been a little bit slower ever since. "16-second difference, shot and game clock." Todd-Williams ends the scoring slump for North Carolina. Panthers can hold for the final shot of the third. Strickland left wide open, lets the 3-ball fly. No good, North Carolina. Chance to even the score at the end of the third. Todd-Williams up and couldn't finish, but a block called against Amy Hayford.
And Pitt gave North Carolina that opportunity right there. They didn't work the shot clock well enough on the offensive end. As they took their shot with 8 seconds left in the quarter, they left way too much time for North Carolina to get out in their transition game. They love to play fast. They love to get it up the court. As you see, Kennedy Todd-Williams getting herself to the free throw line with just 3 seconds left in the third quarter.
The Panthers as a team just 1 of 8 from beyond the arc in this quarter, and that has allowed North Carolina to crawl back into this game, and we are tied at 44. Panthers will have a chance for one more quick possession here with 3 ticks. Harris will heave from half court, off the mark, and Brienne, this is fun. We've got 10 minutes left to go. A tie game. Panthers trying to upset number 15.
He just showed you their offense kind of went downhill a bit, but this is anybody's game here in the fourth quarter.
Panthers have had success against North Carolina in this building, a 4-1 record all time against the Heels. And here we go. Fourth quarter from the Pitt. North Carolina trying to regain the lead. But the Panthers turn him over.
Courtney Banghart is not happy about that pass from her veteran leader, captain Deja Kelly, to Alyssa Ustby. Just an unforced turnover by the Tar Heels.
Harris, crossover, step back, pretty jumper, but too strong. Rebound, Anya Poole. Panthers have led for 21 minutes of this game. North Carolina has led for just over 3 minutes. It's been Pitt, the 0-8 ACC team, largely in control tonight.
And Leah King all over the defensive glass down there. She knows Alyssa Ustby is crashing the board. She had a great box out and a great rebound.
Pittsburgh taking its time offensively. They've done a nice job tonight of being patient, waiting for a good look, but that time Malia Johnson throws it away.
As you see down there, North Carolina does an excellent job at hedging the ball screen there, makes it really difficult for Malia Johnson. And then North Carolina capitalizes on the other end. Pitt is going to have to take care of the basketball in this fourth quarter if they want to come out victorious.
And just like that, it's advantage North Carolina after Pitt has led for so much of this contest. The Tar Heels trying to escape the Peterson Event Center with the victory. King spinning in the paint, contact as she hits the hardwood. And last off the Panthers, North Carolina going to take over.
King doing all she could inside there, but unfortunately she misread. The double team collapsed on her. She tried to get herself to the free throw line, but she could have maybe made a better decision by kicking out and getting a better look.
Some pressure defensively from Amy Hayford. Cross court, Todd-Williams reaches up to secure the pass. Kelly with 16 points on the night. Pull-up jumper off the mark. Alyssa Ustby the putback.
And there's Alyssa Ustby on that weak side offensive glass. She is relentless. She hasn't stopped on the O boards all night. They have to find her in this fourth quarter.
North Carolina stringing together a run here in the fourth, up by 4. Brown drives, almost had the and one opportunity. So, Brianne, as the story turns a little bit here in the fourth and North Carolina gains the lead, what have you seen differently from both sides that has allowed this script to flip?
Well, like I just said, Alyssa Ustby down there on the offensive glass, they're sticking with their leaders. They're going to their big three, their trio down the stretch here to get them to win this basketball game. They are going to run their offense through Deja Kelly, through Todd-Williams, and then Alyssa Ustby is getting it done on the offensive glass. If they can't stop those three down the stretch, Pitt is going to be on the unfortunate side of this game.
That trio of juniors for North Carolina has 39 of the team's 48 points on the night. Such an impressive group. All three, as we mentioned earlier, are in the top 10 in the ACC in scoring. 48-45. Todd-Williams dishes to Ustby. Now North Carolina can be patient. Harris swings. Todd-Williams, corner three. Lets it fly and lets it go.
And there's one of their big three, Jason. Kennedy Todd-Williams for three. Great three-point shooter. And there she is again on the defensive end.
Todd-Williams finishes, draws the foul.
And you see the excitement on the North Carolina Tar Heels bench. They see this game-changing momentum all in the Tar Heels' favor right now.
North Carolina has made its last three from the field. They've jumped out to their largest lead of the contest. 6:27 to go from Pitt's this fourth quarter for North Carolina. We've talked so much about the trio of juniors that lead North Carolina in scoring. They have relied on them tonight, Brianne, to regain this lead. It's now up to 8 points, and just like that, the number 15 team in the land is looking like it again.
Yeah, and that's why Courtney Banghart, North Carolina's head coach, speaks so highly of her trio in Kennedy Todd-Williams, Alyssa Ustby, and Deja Kelly. As you see here, Todd-Williams' last two baskets, her knocking it down for a three, wide open in the corner. As she looks to her teammates and say, we got this. And then on the defensive end, nice little reach in there, and she says, yep, I'm going to take this all the way coast to coast as she finishes and one and gets herself to the free throw line. As you see the excitement all over her face.
It's been the last thing you want if you're Pitt in this fourth quarter. North Carolina leading in the fourth by a score of 9-1 over the final 3.5 minutes, the most recent 3.5 minutes of this game. Todd-Williams has jumped into the top of the score sheet tonight with those 17 points. Deja Kelly and Alyssa Ustby so lethal for North Carolina, and it's their largest lead of the contest. Brianne, I want to share a story that Courtney Banghart told us about recruiting Deja Kelly when she first got to North Carolina. She calls Deja a hooper, but everyone told her, you're not going to get Deja Kelly. You haven't coached a Power 5 game yet. Courtney Banghart said she and Deja Kelly spent about 3 months on FaceTime on her back porch, and Deja Kelly now wearing that Carolina blue, and I think Courtney Banghart's pretty happy about it.
Yeah, and that's a special bond and a special relationship that the two of them have. But you can, again, credit Courtney Banghart in the culture that she has built with North Carolina. All credit to her. You can go back to her days at Princeton, the culture that she builds. That trio, this entire junior class has been together since their freshman year. And we said it earlier, nowadays you aren't seeing that. You're seeing kids transfer left and right, but they believe in what Courtney Banghart is doing here at North Carolina, and they want to stick this thing out with her as she cares about them more as people than she does as players.
Banghart has talked about the focus on individual development within the North Carolina program as well. Says you can clearly see the improvement of that junior class since they were freshmen. Deja Kelly, Alyssa Ustby, Kennedy Todd-Williams, among others, have really progressed as basketball players and as people over the last few seasons. North Carolina up to a 9-point lead, and they force havoc once again. Ustby on the other end, and called for a travel on the inside.
Yeah, she did move that pivot foot there. Actually, she tried to change her pivot foot. Great find and see by the officials there.
So Ustby has started to find her rhythm a little bit here in the fourth, but she does have 4 turnovers on the night. That's more than anybody else in the game. Still time for Pittsburgh as they try to mount a comeback, but another travel called, this time on Malia Johnson.
And that's something the Pitt Panthers can't afford right now, is to turn the basketball over, stop the clock, and give North Carolina opportunities on the offensive end. They are just too good and will capitalize. Pitt's sticking with that 2-3 zone, not trying to change it up here, trying to stay strong in that zone defense.
Ustby drew the foul on the way to the hole. And she's going to head to the line with a chance to give North Carolina its first double-digit lead of this game. And it's been such an exciting game up to this point, Brianne. Pittsburgh led by as many as 8. This was a game that at one point really looked like it was going to come down to the wire. And in North Carolina's case, at serious risk of losing to 0-8 Pitt on the road here in the ACC, the Tar Heels have responded, especially in this fourth quarter, and they once again look like one of the premier teams in this conference.
Yeah, that's right. They knew they were struggling those first 3 quarters. They knew they stuck with it. They stuck with their game plan. They trust in their coach and what they are doing. Changed up a little bit on the defensive end to throw the Pitt Panthers off a bit. And then, like I said, I keep saying this, but they are going to their 3 best players to finish this basketball game out.
Ustby, Todd-Williams, and Kelly have combined for 47 of the 56 for North Carolina. So a foul called on Anya Poole for North Carolina, and the Panthers will look to snap an 8-0 North Carolina run over the last 90 seconds.
And Anya Poole coming off the floor looking like she's hurt a little bit. You hope nothing's seriously wrong over there. Look to see if the Pitt Panthers change it up and show a little pressure full court here.
Dayshanette Harris went 0 for 2 at the line. So for the Panthers, things go from bad to worse here in the fourth. North Carolina with a 12-1 scoring advantage in the fourth quarter.
And you see the Panthers now trying to throw some traps at North Carolina. But Alyssa Ustby so tough with the basketball.
Ustby especially one that has come alive in this fourth after having a relatively quiet night throughout the first 3 quarters. Todd-Williams thought about the 3 perhaps, but North Carolina certainly in no hurry. Up by 11. Kelly's 3 ball is good.
Her shot, Jason, is so pretty. So pretty.
19 for Deja Kelly.
Calm, cool, and collected is Deja Kelly.
Todd-Williams picks up the ball for UNC. They forced the turnover. Kennedy Todd-Williams converts. And North Carolina outscoring Pitt 17-1 in the fourth quarter. The Tar Heels lead 61-45. And Brianne, it's almost unbelievable to watch just how much this scoring has changed this half.
Yeah, North Carolina really flipped the switch there as you see this scoring breakdown by North Carolina and Pitt. Unfortunate end for the Pitt Panthers. North Carolina playing very solid basketball in this fourth quarter.
And for the Tar Heels, they get the road win most likely here, barring a comeback from Pitt in the final 4 minutes. But as a team that's a projected 4 seed right now in the NCAA tournament, this is a loss that really, really would have hurt their resume. But instead, they're on their way to picking up the victory, and it'll be their 6th in a row if they can finish this out. That's going to be huge for the Tar Heels, especially considering what we talked about earlier, 3 of those against ranked ACC teams in the top 15.
Yeah, that's right, Jason. And 6 straight wins in the ACC would be the best the Tar Heels have had since 2013. And that was before Courtney Banghart.
She has completely transformed this North Carolina program as they look to improve to 15-5, currently number 20 in the net rankings. 5 wins over top 25 teams, and at this point in the year, they certainly look to be on their way to another NCAA tournament appearance, and if they do, it will be their 3rd consecutive trip to the dance.
And aside from maybe these first 3 quarters of this ball game tonight, North Carolina is playing some really good basketball. I'm sure Courtney Banghart will walk away here tonight along with her coaching staff and have some things to clean up. But they are playing extremely well together as a unit.
It's now a 13-2 run for North Carolina over the last 3 minutes. As Kelly drives in a soft rim. Beautiful touch from Deja Kelly, the junior from San Antonio, is now up to 21 on the night. Exenor tried the reverse layup. Rebound hauled in by Ustby. And North Carolina's Ustby called for a travel once again. Adams and Ustby were both in on the play. And Pitt will keep it. Harris with a crafty finish. Brianne, something you talked about earlier with North Carolina is that they've faced so many of the tougher teams in this league already. Now, granted, there are no easy games in the ACC, but their remaining schedule allows them to pick up a lot of wins down the stretch.
Yeah, that's right, Jason, as they've already played Duke, NC State. They will have Duke again. However, they have a stretch, as you see right here. They are at Clemson, still on the road. 2 games, Clemson, Virginia, that should be wins for them, but you never know in this ACC. And then they have a tough one at Louisville, but then Syracuse and Boston College, 2 teams, 4 out of the, well, all 5 of those teams not ranked in the top 25. So a schedule that hopefully could produce a few wins here for UNC.
We talked about that 4-game losing streak that came before the 5-game winning streak, and Courtney Banghart talked about how close those battles were. They lost those 4 games by an average margin of just 5.5 points. So they were right in those games, but just came out on the wrong end. Followed it up by winning 5 in a row, what looks to become 6 in a row tonight. And with those 5 next games all being against unranked opponents, North Carolina with a chance to extend that winning streak even more as they dig into ACC play. Dayshanette Harris still fighting for the Panthers. She drew the and one. And Harris's 15 points leads all Panthers on the night.
She's doing all she can tonight. She's still fighting, still giving everything she can to this Pitt team as she is a leader for them.
And unfortunately for Pitt, it's a continuation of the story we showed you in the open on the Panthers. They've been in a lot of games, halftime, third quarter. They've battled with some good teams in the ACC, but just have not been able to keep that throughout 40 minutes of a contest. And so now North Carolina, with an 11-point lead, under 2 minutes to go, is in control. Panthers still pressuring, trying to do what they can to keep this game in contention, but Courtney Banghart wisely takes a timeout. Tar Heels have an 11-point lead now. They've been outstanding in the fourth quarter, especially on the offensive side.
Yeah, as you see, Alyssa Ustby, great footwork inside. Deja Kelly missed her jumper there, but Alyssa Ustby on the weak side rebound. Kennedy Todd-Williams for 3. Kennedy Todd-Williams and one. Their big 3 taking full advantage and taking over this basketball game in the fourth quarter.
And the trio for North Carolina is now up to 54 of the Tar Heels' 63 points. 70% from the field in this fourth.
That's unbelievable, Jason. 70%. First quarter, 47%, I would say, is an excellent field goal percentage, but 70%, that is extremely difficult to beat when you are a number 15 team in the nation.
Mentioned 19 points in the fourth from North Carolina. All 19 have come from Ustby, Todd-Williams, and Deja Kelly.
Yeah, they just took over this basketball game. They know how important a road win like this is at Pitt, especially with Pitt still being defeated in the ACC.
Shooting is 25, Deja Kelly.
Courtney Banghart, the ultimate players coach, still speaking with her players, up 13 in the fourth. And Brianne, it's sometimes funny to think about Courtney Banghart. At one point, if she had gone to school for soccer, which she said was her initial thought, none of this would have happened. She wouldn't be on the bench here in the Peterson Event Center coaching hoops for North Carolina, but had originally been recruited to Dartmouth to play soccer. Now, the soccer coach at Dartmouth left to go to Stanford. So Courtney Banghart called the basketball coach at Dartmouth and said, hey, I've always loved basketball a little bit more. What do you say I come play hoops at Dartmouth instead? So she went and did that, became a two-time Ivy League first-team player, and the rest is history. It's been hoops ever since for Courtney Banghart.
Yeah, the rest is history. That's right, Jason. And I'm sure North Carolina Tar Heels are so grateful and thankful that she chose the route of basketball rather than soccer, and I'm sure her players are too. Ash, like we have mentioned, she is quite the players coach. The culture she has at North Carolina is very, very special, and they are going to do some work down here in the ACC the rest of the year this year as they all stay together. This junior squad, they can do some damage in the ACC this year and next year.
And that's what's scary to think about, too, is the way Courtney Banghart retains her players. You have to imagine Ustby, Todd-Williams, and Deja Kelly all likely to come back next year for North Carolina. And that's a dangerous trio if they do.
It really is a dangerous trio. And we keep talking about the culture here at North Carolina, but it is absolutely true. I was talking with assistant coach Etora Coleman, who actually coached me at Penn State in college, and she just preached the culture that they have built at North Carolina and what Courtney Banghart is doing. And these players are buying in, but they really love each other and they play for one another. And you can see that, and you especially saw that here in the fourth quarter down the stretch. Amber Brown and one, still fighting to the very end, getting herself to the free throw line. She has really meant so much to this Pitt program over her 4-year career here. 100 games starting. It's quite impressive.
Consecutive, too. She didn't miss any in that stretch. And tough couple of games for Brown and for the Panthers. Amber had 4 Sunday against Florida State. She's got 9 tonight, just 2 of 6 from the field. But you're right, Amber Brown has done so much throughout her career here for the blue and gold.
Yeah, she's a warrior for this program. That's how associate head coach Terry Mitchell describes her.
And she's not giving up yet, neither are the Panthers. 70-55. The North Carolina lead. Pitt was providing some pressure there. Tar Heels took a timeout. The Panthers, meanwhile, have an upcoming stretch here on the road Sunday at Boston College, then another one at number 16 Duke. They'll come back home to take on Virginia. It'll be a Pink the Peak game here inside the Peterson Event Center, and then on the road again. So 4 of the next 5 for Pittsburgh away from their home arena as they still search for that first conference win of the season.
North Carolina finishing this game out with their starting lineup, minus Paulina Paris out there.
It's a Tar Heel team that will improve to 15-5 and 6-3 in the ACC. And wow, have they come a long way since being 0-3 to start their conference slate. So, Brianne, the Panthers didn't make it easy, but North Carolina escapes here on the road with a 72-57 victory.
Yeah, that's right. North Carolina just owned that fourth quarter by their veteran leadership. Deja Kelly, Alyssa Ustby, Todd-Williams. Too much for Pitt Panthers to handle down the stretch.